Good morning. Pastor Ken Reid here, talking to you a few days in a row about our relationships with each other, marriage, friendships, church community, the community you live in, relationships with people at work, okay? And I'm hoping that these will be really beneficial to you. The one today I want to talk to you about is entitled Be a Peacemaker. Be a peacemaker. You might say, well, you don't understand. You don't know my wife and I. We're not really compatible. We just can't seem to get along. We're different. It's my opinion that God probably put people that are different together so that their strong points will overcome our weak points and vice versa. And we be a great help to each other and can really complete with each other. But so sadly, it turns out many people are competing instead of completing. I have the best wife in the world, the whole wide world. I love her dearly. I want to compliment her. I want to complete her. I never want to compete with her on anything. I was praying this week and asking the Lord for spiritual guidance in my own life, and this thought kept coming to my mind, Ken. If you just learn to keep your mouth shut. I'm not saying you can't talk to each other, no. But when your opinion begins to grate on the other person, it might be really a good idea. Just suck it up and keep your mouth shut. Because we're not competing about who's right or wrong. Does it really matter? Would you rather be right or would you rather have peace? Be a peacemaker. You know, I can honestly tell you that there's literally, over the years, I'll just say hundreds of people that come and talk to me about stress and frustrations in their family, tension in their family, anxiety and drama. I'd like to suggest to you today and encourage you, you be the peacemaker. You be the peacemaker. Maybe you like your room nice and tidy and nice and neat, but your husband is kind of sloppy. Maybe he leaves his shoes laying around once in a while and just drops things when he comes into the house wherever they land, that's where they land, and we'll get them some other time. And you're tempted to go find him when you see those shoes laying there and say, I thought we had an agreement. When are you going to pick up your shoes? And they leave them laying around all over the place. I'm getting tired of picking up after you. Think about how that hurts somebody. Now, my wife isn't into that. That's not where I'm going here. I'm talking about relationships to help you. What would happen? What would happen if you just forget your own pride and go over and pick the pair of shoes up, put them where they're supposed to be, and when your husband comes to look for them and asks you, say, honey, I just put them in the closet. A couple for performances like that, it'll become very obvious that you've gotten out of the boxing ring and you're trying to be a peacemaker. You try to be a peacemaker at work or in a marriage or in a friendship relationship. My wife, genuine, let me give her a compliment. She is a peacemaker. She's a peace dove. If there's things that get kind of muddy and stirred up, she's there trying to make it better, bring calmness, showing love. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. You say, if you knew my wife, every time she leaves the room, she leaves all the lights on. And I've told her about that time and time again, how much that's costing us. You know what? It wouldn't take very much energy for you just to go over and flip the switch. You might even get some exercise in the process. Instead of harping on your wife, why don't you make some allowances for shortcomings or weaknesses or vice versa? You say, but when are they ever going to change? Maybe when you stop complaining and nagging and harping, and developing an attitude, you're going to find out, really, honestly, it's probably me that needs to change. You can't change anybody. Man, I've learned that a long time ago as a pastor. You can't change anybody. Why in the world do you even think that? Accepting people and loving them just exactly the way they are is such a big deal. Here's another point. Nothing will drive a wedge into your relationship with other people quicker than you always criticizing them. There is such a thing as constructive criticism, and real friends can learn to take that from each other. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking when you have an attitude and you just always say, "Yeah, there you go again." And you're critical and you got a bad attitude. It shows. It feels in the heart. It feels in the heart. It's important. Check that, really. It probably won't work out if you got the attitude, well, if my wife would start doing the things that I've asked her to do, we'll have peace. Or if my husband will start picking up all of his stuff and quit being rude to me, then maybe we'll have some peace. If my boss had just quit making sarcastic remarks and quit being rude to me, then I'd treat him with respect. Why don't you go ahead and switch the role, just be the peacemaker. Try to keep the strife out of your relationships and honor God. When you honor God, you're sowing seeds of mercy and kindness and grace, and watch to see if that relationship doesn't improve. Sometimes we have to make adjustments. I don't know about you, but I don't like drama. I don't like tension. I'm 74 years old in my life, and I want my relationships to be good. And I have a lot of great relationships with friends, church people, community people, my wife, my kids. Don't argue over things that don't matter a bit. Pick your battles wisely. Is that really worth having a war over? Does that really matter? You understand where we're going with that? I hope you're being helped. I really do. You say, is this really important? It's important enough that if you allow strife to enter your relationship, you'll be brought down to destruction. Don't be stubborn and bullheaded. Go out of your way to compliment other people. Go out of your, use such words as, I encourage you. I bless you. Find somebody that you can pour kindness and compliments in and say, boy, that was a good sermon. That was a good lesson you taught. That was a good job you did. Don't be so proud that you always got to prove your point. Swallow your pride and consider someone else's opinion. I love this. This is speaking to me. Don't wait until the other person comes to you and apologizes. Do it today. Swallow your pride and apologize. Even if it wasn't your fault, keep the peace. It's not about being right. It's about keeping the peace and having a good life. You can win every argument, but if that opens the door to a broken heart, you haven't won very much. If that opens the door to a heart that's filled with hurt and turmoil as a result of you winning every argument, you haven't won very much. It might be good to not be a fault finder and not be argumentative all the time. Please don't be a person. If as soon as my husband changes, things will get better. I'll love him better. No. It'll never work that way. That's like living your life on hold for a better day, a better opportunity, a better moment when it puts performance in the forefront. And the Lord wants us to love each other better than that. We can do better than that. Be a bigger person. A dear friend of mine told me not too long ago. They said, don't react to that situation. You're bigger than that. You're a bigger person than that. Woo. In order to have good relationships, you've got to set the example and take the initiative. I think I'm going to bring it to a close right there today, and thank you for being with me. I think my last statement would be this: stay sweet, not sour. In the name of Jesus, God bless you. May your relationships be good relationships because you have a burning desire to be like Christ. See ya tomorrow.